Alright, hello everybody! Happy video game day, first of all. Second of all, you may be wondering what we're doing. And I will tell you, we are going to be doing a tier list over all of these titles. And we're going to be ranking all of them. Okay, so let's get started with, let's just get the big ones out of the way. Knockout City. If you haven't been on my channel for a while, you will not know that I really love this game. I did a whole series on it, 40 videos. It was spectacular. I had a spectacular time with this game. So, yeah, I'm extremely biased, but Knockout City is going to be going in S tier. This next game, however, is going to be a blast from the past, because this was one of the very first games that I played, and that is Super Mario Bros. I think the only thing that's supporting this is nostalgia. Even though it's fun, yes, I did not finish the games, and I kind of got bored of them, but that's also because I was a itty bitty baby. So I'm going to put this in A tier. Next up is Mario Kart for the Wii. This was like my first step into my Mario Kart career, my racing career. I really liked this game. I did get bored of it because, I think because I was an itty bitty baby and I was still trying to get used to the game, I wasn't the best at it. So I'm going to put this still in A tier. Switching from consoles to handheld consoles, we are going to Super Mario 3D Land. Now this was a game. This was a game. I loved this game. I beat it, and then I beat it again, and again, and then there was the extra levels, which I did not beat, but, they were still fun nonetheless. For a time, I was quite hooked to this game. So, I'm gonna put this in A tier. It's there, but it's not quite there, Now, Mario Kart 7. Where do I begin? This was so fun. This was so fun. Mario Kart 7, I was on this all the time. This was my second step into my racing career, and it was a fun one. I love this game. So yeah, this one holds a special place in my heart, so I'm gonna put this in A tier still. And then you got Super Smash Bros. For the DS. This was this was very good. This is very fun. So I'm gonna put this one I'm going to put this in A tier. Because I know there's another title that bests it. And I'm definitely putting that in S tier. Next up is Skylanders Giants. This was my first Skylanders game. I still have my Skylanders, by the way. Yeah, I liked this game. This game was fun. I'm going to put it in A tier. Okay, next up was Superchargers. I wasn't as invested. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love flying around on a plane as Bowser. But, I just wasn't as invested into it as I should have been. And I understand that this was for the DS, and the PlayStation version was probably better, but I just couldn't get into this one. So I'm gonna put this in B tier. Super Mario Maker for the 3DS. Oh my gosh, this game was fun. There was a point where it did get boring because I'd stopped coming up with ideas. The only limitation this game has is your creativity and the levels that you have to complete to get every item. That was it. That was the only setbacks. But other than that, it was a very solid game. Super Mario Maker goes in A tier. And then you have Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform. Feel like they were trying to hop on the same train as Nintendo, and it did not feel the same way. You can clearly see that it took inspiration from Mario Kart, but didn't execute it in a satisfying way. Especially to me. But that's entirely my opinion. So I'm going to put this in C tier, unfortunately. And then you have Skylanders Trap Team. I do not remember playing this game, so I'm going to reluctantly put it in B tier. Now we're moving on from handheld to consoles. Big consoles once again. Starting with Need for Speed for the PlayStation 4. It's a decent game, I would say. It's decent. The most that I did was like customize my car. And then I did like a few missions here and there. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Lego Marvel's Superheroes. I love this game. I absolutely love this game. I probably almost beated it. Got all the trophies and all the characters and everything, despite the fact that I didn't know half of them. Yeah, like from start to finish, it's just like stellar. It is stellar. It is magical. And even like the first mission, you get to play as Iron Man, Hulk, and Spider-Man. Sign me up. But yeah, I'm gonna put this in A tier, honestly. Lego Jurassic World. I'm gonna be honest, this game, I think I beat the whole thing, and then I went straight to the hybridization, like the customization of like different dinosaurs mixing with different genes. And that was it. That was it. I literally played the game just so I could do that. I'm gonna reluctantly put this in B tier. Reluctantly put it in B tier. And then we have Ratchet and Clank. Funny story about this game. I was so close to beating it. I got all the weapons, I got my jetpack, I got everything. But for whatever reason, I was on the last level and I could not beat it for the life of me. I'm gonna put it in A tier. We're gonna move on to the final Skylanders game that I played, which was Imaginators. I cannot tell you how invested I was into this game. I was invested. Like, this game was stellar. The concept was amazing. The designs were great. My only concern was the fact that I think you only got like one piece of DLC with like extra packs and like customizable like costumes and whatnot. I so wish they could have done more. Like, more stuff. Like, added more like customizable stuff into it. Because I kid you not, I have so many ideas in this brain of mine, and I couldn't utilize it with the limited amount of stuff I had for this game. I can't say anything else but just put this at S tier. Just put it there. Just put it there. Because compared to like Giants and Trap Team, this was at its peak. That's when Skylanders hit its peak for me, was when I got this on the PlayStation 4. I played it, and I loved it. And then we got the big boys. One of my favorite games, Titanfall 2. Yeah! Because I kid you not, this game helped me through depression. Next we have Mortal Kombat X. I played it and I enjoyed it, right? And Scorpion. Scorpion's my main. So I'm gonna put in A tier. Didn't have that much of an impact on my life, but it was definitely fun. Next up, we have Jurassic World Evolution. This game was fun. Because when I first played it, I treated it like a job. No joke. I actually was like, all right, Mom, I'm going to work. And I would turn on my PlayStation 4 and start playing this. I kid you not. I would turn on my PlayStation 4 and I would play this and treat it like an actual job. Was it as impactful as to be an S tier? No. But it definitely deserves to be an A tier. So that's exactly where I'm going to put it. Jump Force. This game. Ooh, this game. You know, it was really fun. Despite the fact that, you know, the majority of the game was in Japanese. The concept of all these franchises, all these animes colliding into one world, into our world, and then fighting each other is just, it's amazing. So I'm going to give this an A tier. It definitely has its flaws, but it's definitely a good game. Dreams. Dreams is a very, very unique game because it's essentially made its own ballpark. Because Dreams is a game where you make games and you share them online. That uniqueness is what really makes it shine. So when I found this game out, I was like, oh man, I gotta play this. And, you know, it really does have a lot of good games on it for itself. Because even then, you can also make your own games on this game. And like music and whatnot. It definitely made its own playing field. It made its own ballpark. And it rocked with it. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. So the story behind this is that this was my first time a fan ever recommended me playing a game. And it was this. I couldn't get into it. I did like 2 or 3 hours of gameplay and I could not get into it. The controls were hard. It was hard to control. It was hard to like manage. And, you know, I just couldn't get into it. It's especially considering I didn't kill anything and the controls kept messing up for me. The camera was ridiculous. I don't know, and I wasn't particularly into Naruto. Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker, while a very interesting game and has a very interesting concept, I myself could not get into it. Next up, we have Hot Wheels Unleashed. This game was good. Hot Wheels Unleashed was like my childhood reincarnated into a video game. And I love that fact. So Hot Wheels Unleashed is going to be an A tier. Not exactly an S tier. It didn't have that meaningful of an impact to my life compared to the S tiers. But it was definitely a game. There was an F tier. If there is an F tier, I can't say it's mid. I cannot say it's mid because it does have some good points, but it definitely has some bad points. Specifically the players. Very specifically the players, because they are some of the most toxic people on the planet. And it's hard. It's rough out there. It's rough out there on that battlefield. That battlefield of For Honor. It is rough. But I stayed because of the fashion. And that's one of the only reasons why I stayed. So I'm going to put this in A tier. Despite the fact that, kind of broke my pinky over it. And a dresser. This game was stellar. So that's going to be an A tier. All right, moving on from PlayStation back to Nintendo. We've got some Switch games. So we're starting with Mario Kart 8. This game was fire. It was fire. It was Mario Kart at its peak for me. Because I have not touched Mario Kart World. I understand it is out. But I am not spending $90. But yeah, Mario Kart 8 is stellar. It is fantastic. It has a DLC, a booster pass, which is phenomenal. Like, who thought of that? Give them a raise. And it's just great. I'm going to put this in A tier. Next up, we have, my gosh, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This was Smash Bros. At its peak. I love this game. This game was stellar, outstanding, fantastic. Yeah, and if you're wondering, I was a Bowser main. And the story, don't get me started. I completed the story, right? But for whatever reason, there was one character I was missing. There was a character I was missing, and I have no idea who he is, but I was missing him for some reason. And it was crazy, because I never found out. I never found out who I was missing. That upsets me to this day, but, despite that, this game, hold on. It's not going A. It's going in S. Because it deserves it. Mortal Kombat 11. I did play this for the Switch, which is probably unfortunate for me. But also not unfortunate, because I cannot lie to you, the story, I could not get invested into the story. It involved so much time travel, and it joggled my brain. It was so convoluted, they had to make a sequel just to make it more so. Is it a bad game? No. Is it a good game? Also no. So I'm going to put this in mid. And last but not least, Cyberpunk 2077. Now this game is interesting because when it started, it was not it was not the greatest, especially considering the fact that it took 11 years just to make it. But despite that fact, it's probably one of the most immersive games I've ever played. Gigs, and then you get like special missions, and then you get all these side characters, all these unique side characters that you get. And you're not exactly supposed to align yourself with a faction. Because there's like 4 factions in Fallout 4. With Cyberpunk 2077, you just go around fighting off different gangs. And you're basically a lone wolf. So with that being said, despite the fact that I have not finished this game is going in S tier. And that just about wraps it up. That's the tier list. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon.